Nikka Costa is an American singer whose music combines elements of funk, soul, and blues. She also had a career as a child singer starting in the early 1980s. She is the daughter of notable music producer Don Costa and is married to Australian producer-songwriter Justin Stanley. Early life: Nikka Costa was born in Tokyo, Japan. Her father Don Costa was a notable producer and a musician with many connections in the music business. During her childhood, Costa was surrounded by famous musicians and traveled around the world with her father. At age 5, Costa recorded a single with Hawaiian singer Don Ho. Italian producers Danny B. Basket and Tony Rennis were working with her father on the album Don Costa Plays the Beatles when they had a brainstorm to produce an album with Nikka singing while her father played acoustic guitar. The album was well received in Europe and Costa became known as a child star. At age 9, Costa sang with Frank Sinatra in an appearance on the lawn of the White House. Costa's career as a recording artist under her own name started in 1981, when she recorded the song, Out Here, on My Own. The single, recorded in Milan with the conductor Victor Bach and produced by Basket and Rennis, spent 14 weeks at number 1 in Italy, 9 weeks at number 1 in Spain, and 5 weeks at number 1 in France. The song also reached number 7 in Switzerland and number 32 in the Netherlands. The album Nikka Costa, produced by Basket and Rennis, was released outside the US in 1981. The album reached number 1 in Europe and South America and Costa toured around the world. Her second album Fairy Tales was released in 1983. Don Costa died of a heart attack shortly after the album was recorded. The pop album Here I Am, Yes, It's Me was released to fulfill a contractual obligation in 1989, though it still topped some charts in Europe. In 1990 she performed at the Sanremo Music Festival with a rendition of All for the Love, an English version of That and More by Meta and Amedia Mingi. After graduating from high school, Costa decided to move away from pop and moved toward funk and soul, becoming influenced by Motown artists. Adult career: while already a music business veteran, in the early 1990s Costa transitioned away from childhood pop to mature soul. She married Australian producer-songwriter Justin Stanley and moved to his country. While in Australia, Costa began writing her own songs and formed a happy funk band called Little Mona and the Shag Daddies, which broke up after 4 gigs in Sydney. Costa's next venture was a band called Bone, which toured Australia in 1994. Costa describes the experience as "It was really scary to unveil it, but the reaction was good. It helped my confidence." After Bone, she signed to the Mushroom label in Australia. In 1996 Costa released the album Butterfly Rocket in Australia, which reached the top 20. The record led to a nomination for ARIA Music Awards Breakthrough Artist in 1996 and Best Female Artist in 1997. In 2000, Costa's song Like a Feather was featured in a Tommy Hilfiger television advertising campaign. That exposure coupled with the track's music video helped launch her US music career. The album Everybody Got There Something was released in 2001 and reached number 120 on the Billboard 200. The title track and Like a Feather were radio hits, although the latter did peak at number 53 in the United Kingdom. In 2005, Costa released the album Can't Never Did Nothin'. She toured with Lenny Kravitz, who also performed on the record. In 2006 she and her husband Justin recorded and performed the theme to the short-lived CBS sitcom Courting Alex, which starred Jenna Elfman. Costa was a guest singer on Mark Ronson's album Here Comes the Fuzz. Ronson has produced some of Costa's songs. Her song Push and Pull from the album Everybody Got There Something is included in the soundtrack of the 2001 movie Blow starring Johnny Depp. Her song Everybody Got There Something was used in the soundtrack of the 2009 movie All About Steve starring Sandra Bullock and Bradley Cooper. Her song Stuck to You from the album Pebble to a Pearl was used in an episode of Grey's Anatomy in Season 5. Costa is currently signed with Stax Records. Her latest studio album Pebble to a Pearl was released on October 14, 2008. In 2010 she released the single Ching 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 in Europe. The song is notable from a genre change from soul funk to electro-pop. The single reached number 77 in Germany, making it Costa's first single to chart in Germany since On My Own in 1981. A new album titled Pro Wo was set for release in late 2010 but has been delayed until early 2011. Costa co-wrote the song Diamonds Made from Rain on Eric Clapton's 2010 album Clapton. Costa sings a reinterpreted version of the INXS hit Kick, on the INXS album Original Sin, digitally released in Australia in October 2010, and in the United States in April 2011. Discography Albums As a child artist, Nikka Costa, released in Europe and South America, Fairy Tales also known as Cuentos de Hadas, Spanish album, released in Europe and South America, Here I Am. Yes, It's Me also known as Loca Tentacia Cubden, English album, released in Europe and South America. As an adult artist, Butterfly Rocket, released only in Australia, Everybody Got Their Something, US number 120, Can't Never Did Nothin' US number 157, Pebble to a Pearl, US number 157. EPs Master Blaster, Get Off My Sunshine, Treat Her Right, Like a Feather, Pro Wo. Diamos Such a Bone, 3-track demo tape recorded in Australia, Everybody Got Their Something, demo, featuring unreleased tracks and alternate mixes from the album's sessions, Can't Never Did Nothin' unreleased version, featuring unreleased tracks and alternate mixes from the album's sessions. Remix albums Return of the Funky White Bitch, a promo release featuring remixed versions of songs from Everybody Got Their Something, with remixes by Mark Ronson, Stuck to You, promo remix EP. Live albums Live at the Bridge, EP bundled with a re-released version of Butterfly Rocket, Live in Tokyo, promo CDR featuring a performance at Astro Hall, Live at the Roxy, DVD sold at concerts. References